What is going on, everybody? It is episode 917 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. I showed up a little bit late today, but
we're what they call running and gunning today.
it's fine. You know, we always get the job done by hook or by crook, as Brett would say.
Yes, I would.
I am adopting that phrase into my vocabulary.
We'll figure it out. We'll get through it
also,
today.
I would beg, steal, and borrow. That's a good one, too.
That's a
Have
good
you
one.
said that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've said that one, but
I've heard that one recently. I don't know where.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, thing is, though, that's the type of thing you see that a writer writes, and you don't really get to hear that one much in the real world.
Right.
But it's
we
a good
need
one.
to.
Yeah.
We need to. And we need a ska revival. We need incandescent light bulbs. We need a lot of things to change in this country.
We literally just had like our like the lights and
Whoa.
is that
I'm
yours
so
or mine?
Sorry. I rarely
Yours
do
or
this.
mine?
I left my volume on my
That's
laptop.
okay. We just had the lights go out
Silly
in our
me.
living room, so we were like going through trying to figure out like what level K of bulb to get, because we don't want white light in the living
Yeah.
room. We want soft light in the living
Yeah,
room.
you need to go buy a vintage lamp.
Yeah.
is what you
it's
need
for
to
the
do.
overhead, for the fan light. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a chandelier, but it's like
You just
they're
gotta-
advertised as chandelier lights.
You gotta just stop using the overhead light. You have to only get vintage lamps. We have a 20 from Corey Anderson. Mary, did you get your hair done? Had roots yesterday and none today. Or is this just PCC's CGI budget at work? Brett, I see your videos, and as someone that used to skate all the time when I was young, it looks easy. What am I missing?
Wow,
He's dissing your skating skills.
What do you mean? Well, I guess if it looks
Is it easy?
you should go and do it then. If you're
You record your videos and recreate whatever Brett's doing in his. And we'll see how easy it is, Corey.
The thing is when you get to be 39, as I am, you no longer do it anymore to push the boundaries of what you're capable of. You do it because it's good exercise and it's something to do because you're passionate about it, not because it's necessarily the most difficult thing in the world. Hosting a podcast isn't the most difficult thing in the world, yet here I am.
You tell him.
Doing it. Right
You
now.
tell him.
Yeah.
As for my hair, yes, I did get it done. Total coincidence that you noticed them yesterday, because the appointment was already scheduled 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did get my hair done.
Good. So we got a bunch of stuff to get into today, but before we get started with all of that, guys, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the episodes, the segments out with everybody in your life that you both love and hate. The more people that you share the content with, the faster this channel can grow. It helps spread the word. It is great for our channel to do that. So please go ahead and share it out with everybody. We appreciate it when you do that. So what are we getting into today? We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So if you don't know who DaBaby is a rapper. He's collaborated with the likes of Kanye West and others.
Dua Lipa, right? On that one that was like
that very popular.
Take for a ride. What is that song?
I don't know the name of the song, but he's a mainstream. I know the song.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna drive me crazy.
Yeah,
Hold
we'll
on.
have to look it up.
What is it?
Because he literally says the line Dua Lipa and
Glitter in the
DaBaby.
sky, glitter in the eyes, shining just the way I like. If you want to, you want me, I want you, baby.
That song was all over TikTok.
Yeah.
It's levitating.
Levitating. Yes. Okay. I had to I couldn't move on when I didn't remember
Yes.
that would have tortured me.
But he is a well-known
Okay,
rap
sorry.
artist. He has released a brand new music video for a song called "Save Me," which it inserts himself in what happened to Irina Zarutska and retells the story with a different ending. And it's become extremely controversial to a lot of people. Some find it narcissistic. Other people see it as a form of expression. So we'll get into it. We'll watch.
Is there AI involved, or do you think this is?
I didn't see any AI.
I'm just glad that he didn't use AI to make the music video. There are other reasons
It's an
why.
actress, it's not like he
Right.
remade her.
Right, but
It's
what
an
I'm
actress
seeing
who's
lately,
portraying Irina Zarutska.
Right, but what I'm seeing lately is a lot of AI generated videos of her, of Charlie as well, and them together, just weird dystopian shit that I don't want to look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of it's weird. It's a bizarre choice for him.
So we'll get into that video. We are also going to talk about, speaking of Charlie Kirk, which you just mentioned, there's all sorts of more follow-up news regarding what happened to Charlie Kirk. More opinions are being laid. Pretty much the cast of Star Trek is having their own civil war in regards to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Sheen weighed in on the situation. Former governor of the state of California, yes. Arnold, he spoke on the situation. We've got more. We got all of that. We'll talk about it. We are also going to talk about J.K. Rowling, who was, she's not the victim, I guess, but there was a cancer hoax, a death hoax around J.K. Rowling, and it just shows you what a death cult the people are who dislike her, because a lot of people, when they found out the fake news
yes.
that J.K. Rowling was supposedly dying of cancer, they shouted with glee because they're evil people who want to celebrate in the suffering and pain of others.
We, first of all, hi, Camelot in the chat.
Yo, what up?
Corey Anderson? No, I wasn't saying it's easy. I'm saying it looks easy. I was asking if it's difficult and what do you do to make it look easy. My bad. I was trying to not drop a 50, but now I have with the last few tweets.
The point is, for me, so you should aspire in any of the sports, like whether it's blading, whether it's skateboarding, whether it's BMX, you should aspire to make it look easy, meaning that you should have such control over your movements that what you're doing. It's like with pro athletes, right? Have you ever seen like the athletes run the 40, the 40-yard dash? Like, an athlete in motion makes it look easier than what it actually is. How many times do you see the joke is always like, the kicker misses a field goal, me on the chair, 12 beers
I could have
deep.
done that.
Idiot. Like, it should look easy when it's done right by people who know what they're doing. But for me at this point, I don't look to challenge myself the way that I used to, more creatively than as far as actual physical risk, because, I have a life that I have to come back to every day. I'm not in my 20s anymore taking risks that I did back then.
You're
because
not
skating
as nimble
was
as you used to be.
It's not even that. It's like back then that was all there was, whether it was skating for videos, sponsors, that was the point of my life at that time. Now I have other such concerns. So skating is something I do to make sure that I don't get fat.
Go off.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another from Master Yan. Keep levitating, XD.
That song is unbelievably catchy.
It is.
Annoyingly catchy, if I might say so myself.
It's interesting because Dua Lipa has made a lot of money off of music, but she's not that interesting. I guess that's what makes her so marketable.
I mean, my most recent memory of her was in Argyle.
All she does is go on vacation. It's kind of a running joke about her at this point, is that all Dua Lipa does is go on vacation.
Like sometimes she comes back from vacation to go to work and that's it.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Like, I'm going on a quick work trip, not a quick vacation.
And people, maybe we should talk about this at some point, but people have noticed that she goes on vacation with the same group of friends every time. And there are people that she is paying. Of course she's paying. And she goes with the same group of people that she's known from school. And she's paying for the whole thing. And I'm just thinking that would be awkward for everyone involved, right?
Because they can't afford it themselves?
Well, because if you're Dua Lipa, you're going to think are they really my friends or are they just in it for my money? And then the friends are going to think I don't know, should I be taking advantage of it? There's just a lot about it that's a little...
Yeah, so
strange.
I mean, maybe to her the logic is because they've been friends. You said from school, so before she was famous.
But it's would they still be my friends if I weren't Dua Lipa?
I mean, she should start a reality show where she just stops paying.
I want
with
a reality
hidden cameras.
I want a reality show called Dua Lipa's Girl Trip.
Yes.
Where we watch all the drama go down.
And there's hidden cameras and they go out to this insane dinner. It costs several $1,000s. And then she's like, so we're splitting the check 5 ways.
And they're like, oh. Yeah. It's a bit of an Anna Delvey situation.
Yeah. We got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go for it.
So last week, following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, South Park ended up deciding to take down their episode, which had a parody character of Charlie Kirk in it. I disagreed with that decision, mostly because Charlie Kirk found it funny and expressed that he was a fan of the show, and he was perfectly willing to take the jokes and be a part of the joke and laugh with everyone and not, try to censor comedy. That would be counter to everything he
Yeah.
believed and stood for.
It also then got turned around and turned into people saying that it was people on the right who were calling for it to be pulled, which is, of course, not true.
We just got a huge super chat, a crisis party from Peps. Hi, Brett and Mary. Hope you guys are doing well. Brett, congratulations on your wedding. And Mary, nicely done with recommending Radiator Springs to Brett. I'm sure he'll like it. I was dying of laughter. Have a nice day, guys. Yeah, Tate and I were kind of playing a little prank on you yesterday.
Look, Olivia went and found all the TikToks. About cars and Radiator Springs and like people talking about it.
I think they have a Radiator Springs at Disney, but we were just joking because it's fake. But,
I caught it as soon as I read the chat.
Yeah. Also, I should add, now that we're ahead, if we get 5 crisis parties today,
yes,
we have a wager. I am going to be sitting. You guys can't see the layout of the studio.
Let me see if I can go to PTZ in wide and like zoom out of the shot so that they can actually see what we're talking about.
You guys are not like aware of what the studio layout looks like, but I will sit in that chair that is diagonal to Brett there. And
it would be really uncomfortable. It would.
It would be uncomfortable for probably both of us, but mostly Brett because he's used to looking across.
Yeah. I mean, that was the whole point, right?
So... yeah, I think that would be an interesting experiment for us. Anyway, we'll get back to our topic here. So South Park this week decided not to drop a teaser or an episode with this weird announcement on X. A note regarding tonight's previously scheduled episode. Apparently, when you do everything at the last minute, sometimes you don't get it done. This one's on us. We didn't get it done in time. Thanks to Comedy Central and South Park fans for being so understanding. Tune in next week, Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Okay, you know the JD Vance meme of him doing this face?
Seems like a weird excuse that you just procrastinated on an episodes for so long that you can't release it. When you have like, what is their deal with Comedy Central?
It was 500 mil. It was, how much was it? Somebody in the chat let us know. It was
like,
a lot
like
of money.
$500 million that they have to release very few episodes relative to the amount that they're getting paid. I don't think that this is a real reason why they canceled the episode.
I don't buy it for a sec. Okay, look, this is not like your friend's dorm room releasing skits on YouTube.
Yeah.
This is this is cable TV. They are strict with deadlines. They have to line up advertisers, commercials. Even if it's Paramount Plus, it's got to end up, on schedule.
Thank you, guys.
Hold on.
Yeah, there's definitely something fishy going on.
I don't buy it for 1 second. Even if it's just for Paramount Plus and they don't have to worry about advertising or anything like that, I don't buy it.
And it makes you wonder if...
$1 billion from Paramount.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
With a B.
With a B.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if the subject matter of the episode they created had anything to do with the assassination. Right?
Say that again?
Because they try to make episodes relevant to current events.
Yes.
And perhaps they had storyboarded something related to the news and it wasn't approved by the network because obviously if they made light of the murder, that would be unacceptable. Perhaps that's what happened and it just flew under the radar until the last minute.
On the r/entertainment thread about this, there was people having their own discussion about it. One person said, probably had Charlie Kirk be a reoccurring joke throughout the season. Now they're scrambling to do something else when they had to fix the episode where Hillary was expected to win. Edit, thinking a little bit more. I doubt they'd back down, but probably had rewritten stuff.
Well, other people are also saying it's possibly because they need more time to storyboard an episode that is related to the assassination.
People think Cartman was killed. The town starts lionizing him and talking about how he was such a great human. The boys are sad that their friend is dead, but don't understand why everyone is making shit up about how great Cartman was. That was somebody else's theory.
Crazy.
The point is, this is like, it's the worst excuse I've ever seen in my entire life. I would have rather they just ran a rerun and then not addressed it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Maybe they should just premiere the episode with Charlie Kirk again, the original one.
Yeah, and bring it back and say, like, look, it was a mistake to remove it.
Yeah.
They should have kept it.
Yeah. Another possibility someone floated here. Kenny starts a Manosphere podcast where he shares racist and sexist opinions and then gets shot, and nobody's sure whether or not the guy who killed Kenny is in fact a bastard. There are obviously Redditors. We know where they stand, but it's definitely fishy.
It is.
I obviously would agree with the stance of most conservatives, including Charlie Kirk, in that comedy should not be censored. I wouldn't necessarily find it funny. I don't think the episode about Charlie Kirk, the original one, was all that funny because they've lost their spark. But
I mean, political comedy in general, either direction. It's the same way I feel about right-wing rap music most of the time. Even if it's something that I wouldn't necessarily disagree with, I don't enjoy it.
Oh, Tom McDonald wasted no time.
But I liked
recording his song about it.
I enjoyed Tom McDonald prior to. I guess I haven't listened to it. I shouldn't say I don't like it because I don't listen to it anymore. But that's just because I don't have an interest in it anymore. But there was stuff that was released in like 2018, 2019 that I really, really liked. But I just came to a point in my life where I was like, look. It's inundated. It's everywhere. Even if somebody's saying something I vehemently agree with, I don't really need it to be reminded of it in every aspect of my life, even the art I consume. Like, I just don't care. So even if South Park was making stuff that I agreed with 100%, I wouldn't care because it's just it doesn't interest me to watch comedy around politics. But that's just me.
No, I agree. A lot of people said the same thing about Lady Ballers.
Yeah,
when it came out. And a lot of people also said the same thing about the Bircham series.
I liked Lady Ballers more than I liked Mr. Bircham, but the stuff I liked about Lady Ballers was all to do with the family storyline and had nothing to do with the comedy, which was tired.
Yeah.
The stuff with the family I found endearing, but like when they did the modern day anti-woke humor at the beginning of the movie, that was the least interesting part of it.
In 2023, because things have shifted so quickly, it was more topical and relevant and subversive. However, it did have a lot of backlash for just being way too on the nose with the politics.
Well, and that's true of most on both sides of the aisle. Most art when it comes to politics, it's like what I was talking about yesterday about that NCIS episode. Is like it felt like when they wrote it, the writers had enough distance from the material that they didn't let their opinions bleed into whatever they were talking about. These days, because of the internet and because of social media, and how whereas back in the day, politics was something you consumed on the 5 o'clock news or when you read your paper in the morning. It wasn't in your algorithm. It wasn't in an algorithm that was in front of your face all day. You had some mental distance from whatever you were writing about to really be able to create a story around it that didn't feel so forced. But now, because you're inundated with it constantly, it takes a very, very skilled writer to be able to keep that same distance from it while having it shoved in your face all the time the rest of the day.
This was the first response I saw to the cancellation announcement. It says, in other words, quote, we realize calling Donald Trump Satan repeatedly may have had something to do with the assassination last Wednesday. We already pulled Charlie Kirk's episode. Even though Charlie enjoyed it, we realize how much backlash we're going to receive. So, Audible, at least stand by your BS.
They weren't getting major backlash for the Charlie Kirk. People were mad that it got pulled. I actually I don't remember. I think it was when I was in Michigan last before the wedding and all the Kristi Noem stuff was coming out and I was just going hard against Kristi Noem. Like she got pissed about the being on South Park and I was like, bad luck. Did? At first. Then she somebody on her team pointed out to her that this is going to end badly for you unless you just embrace it. Then she made it her profile picture, but that's not how it started. And I was like, look, you're in a losing battle if you are mad about this. Even if you are, the politically expedient thing to do is to pretend like you're not and just take the joke because they will win either way if you pretend to be mad or if you show that you're mad.
Similarly, Matt Walsh just called out Pam Bondi for pushing this weird narrative about hate speech.
Yeah, guys, if you aren't following Samara Armstrong on Instagram, go follow her. She's been posting stories nonstop about all of this stuff between Charlie Kirk and the Pam Bondi stuff, and it's really interesting to see the perspective of somebody who worked in Hollywood or works in Hollywood and is an artist and her take on these things. And she was pointing out what Pam Bondi's doing is ridiculous and stupid. Who are you to decide what hate speech is?
Right. All that conservatives were advocating for and are still advocating for is private companies using their freedom of association to possibly, fire employees that don't represent them. that they don't want to represent them, and like Office Depot.
And look, I don't even know how I feel
That
about
fired employees that refused to like print a poster for a Charlie Kirk vigil, for instance.
Like
they weren't saying that we needed a government crackdown on hate speech.
And that's one of those things, like, I don't even know how I feel about most of that stuff. Like, the best I could conclude when I was having these discussions, like, take all of these debates and take the social media out of it and imagine which one would be less offensive to you in like the real world. If you got into a debate with somebody, like a fight at work, and it was like, I disagree and I think your politics are stupid, or somebody saying that person deserved to die, which one is more likely to be more harshly punished by their boss? But it's like, do you guys remember the video? I'm sorry, it was like a photo from like 5 years ago, where the guy got fired from his job because he was cracking his knuckles in his work van, and somebody thought he was doing the OK hand sign, and they called his job and he got fired.
Wow.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Okay, so a guy was like cracking his knuckles in his work van outside the window, and he got fired. It might have been 2017. I thought it was like 2018. But the point is, the dude lost his job for that, and equivocating the two as like that being the same thing as what's happening now are not the same thing. But at the same time, I appreciate someone like Colonel Kurtz, who is coming out, and she has a different perspective on this, and she's taken a very different turn. And she does not necessarily agree with a lot of these firings. And I want all the people to have their opinions heard. And I don't know where I come down on it.
I do. I'm all for it.
I know.
I'm all for it. And I don't think it's hypocritical at all.
I do think Pam Bondi is trash, though.
Yes,
she
me
should
too.
go. I think we can all agree on that.
Something that we're all on the same page about. But what is your personal prediction here? Do you think that they've delayed and that they're going to put out an episode about events, related to the assassination, or do you think that they're going to veer away from it?
That is a very good look. They've been very political from everything that I've read and everything that I've seen in this space. They've been very political this season. They better get their writing caps on now to find the most. Humor's different, right? Like I said, Law and Order will likely do an episode on something like this,
like a dramatized version.
Yeah, these events are fictional. Like they always say, like, these events are fictional and have nothing to do with the real world. That just happened when the season premiere of, was it either Dark Wolf? I think it was the premiere for Terminalist Dark Wolf. It was like events in this episode bear some resemblance to things in the real world that was made before it happened, and because it had to do with Israel and Saudi Arabia, or Israel and Iran.
Okay.
And I was like, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes.
Thank you guys. I think we could get to the 5-party goal today.
I think we can get to 5 parties.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny says Brett has lost it. Brett jumped shark. I haven't jumped over a shark yet.
What does that mean?
But the point is I think South Park will find a way to end up covering it, though. I think they'll put some distance between it. I bet you what they end up doing is they're going to write a new episode. They'll move the episode that was supposed to be the following one, move it up, and then go back to it later.
Yeah, probably. But I'm just interested to see what they will do. It's probably not going to be funny, which should be our primary concern. Let's move on to another cultural issue. In total honesty, all of the discourse about Cracker Barrel's rebrand became tiresome very quickly to me, personally. Maybe it's the Hegelian dialect over get woke, go broke reasserting itself. I just felt like it was very tired and dated to talk about get woke, go broke. A lot of people posited the theory that Cracker Barrel planned this all out from the start, that they were planning on receiving a huge amount of backlash for the rebrand and then undoing the rebrand in order to revitalize the company.
That would be quite a diabolical choice.
I don't want to attribute to cleverness what's more easily explained by incompetence.
Hanlon's Law.
I genuinely think they thought this rebrand was going to go well for them. We have another huge super chat from Francisco Sanchez Jr. for the chair fund.
We're getting there.
Thank you for an additional crisis party there. But yeah, Cracker Barrel has now issued several mea culpas at this point. saying that they want to regain the trust of their customers. They posted this video where they had a whole work crew removing the replacement logo and putting back the old logo with the old friend or whatever they call them. Like any good relationship, sometimes you just need a little tune-up.
Keeping the local economy working with these workers.
We're going back to the things that made us all fall in love in the first place. So maybe it was an elaborate marketing stunt.
It does look like the same exact sign too. Like they didn't even make a new one with him on it. Like they just took the old one out of storage.
And they're even showing all of the minimalist decor getting replaced as well inside. They're not going to keep those awful, you know, millennial farmhouse vibes in the interior of the restaurant. So that's a resounding success for the anti-woke coalition right there. But here's another company that has just caved to pressure from their parent company, Ben & Jerry's. For context, Ben & Jerry's was bought out by Unilever all the way back in 2000. This isn't a recent thing. For $326 million, which I'm sure in today's
number is a lot of money.
Yeah, Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield were enriched by that decision, but now they regret
capitalists.
It. They are expressing regret over that decision that they made a quarter of a century ago. And at this point, Jerry Greenfield has announced his resignation after 47 years at Ben & Jerry's. While Ben Cohen is staying at the company, he actually agrees with Jerry's decision. He said, Jerry has made the difficult decision to step down from the company we built together. I'm sharing his words as he resigns. His legacy deserves to be true to our values, not silenced by @Magnum Global, which is the ice cream parent company.
So it's an umbrella under
Unilever. Hashtag free Ben & Jerry's. So he's staying at the company, but also siding with Jerry Greenfield. This was their announcement. With a broken heart, I've decided I can no longer in good conscience remain an employee of Ben & Jerry's. I'm resigning from the company Ben and I started back in 1978. This is one of the hardest and most painful decisions I've ever made. It isn't because I've lost my love for the people at Ben & Jerry's, quite the opposite. The folks who show up every day in our factories, scoop shops, and offices are some of the most passionate, caring, and values-driven people you'll ever meet. They are the soul of Ben & Jerry's. What has made their work so important to me, and what allowed the company to be more than just an ice cream company, was the independence to pursue our values, which was guaranteed when Unilever bought the company. For more than 20 years under their ownership, Ben & Jerry's stood up and spoke out in support of peace, justice, and human rights.
So they're like, Unilever was like, look, you can do this under the Bush administration, but now...
In the Obama years, that was one thing.
It didn't matter.
But now the cultural vibe shift has taken place, and we need to follow suit. For context as well, Unilever recently acquired Dr. Squatch, which was after the initial brand deal campaign that they released with Sydney Sweeney. So it looks like that's the direction they're taking now.
Look at all these brands that Unilever owns. Like, it really is the illusion of choice
they own
in
Axe,
today's society.
Axe, Ben & Jerry's, Breyer's ice cream as well, Dove, Dermalogica, Degree,
Liquid IV,
Hellman's, Good Humor, Klondike.
That's just page one.
Magnum, not the condoms, but the ice cream bars.
Vaseline. They own Vaseline.
Beauty and skincare brands. Popsicle. Literally just Popsicle. Tresemme.
Yep.
Talenti. Vaseline. You just own Vaseline. Like, that's just something that you can own. But yeah, this was the continuation of the statement. These values, not as abstract concepts, but in relation to real events happening in our world. You might recall that they released a Kamala Harris limited edition flavor called Coconut Jubilee.
Did you ever find out, was there a Bernie one? Was there a Bernie flavor?
I feel like there had to have been a Bernie Sanders flavor, but I don't remember. Maybe
they should have made a Bernie sandwich.
That independence existed in no small part because of the merger agreement that Ben and I negotiated, one that enshrined our social mission and values in the company's governance structure in perpetuity. It's profoundly disappointing to come to the conclusion that that independence, the very basis of our sale, is gone. And it's happening at a time when our country's administration is attacking civil rights, voting rights, the rights of immigrants, women, and the LGBTQ community. Standing up for values of justice, equity, and our shared humanity has never been more important, and yet Ben & Jerry's has been silenced, sidelined for fear of upsetting those in power. It's easy to stand up and speak out when there's nothing at risk. So you admit that there was nothing at risk for you in the prior cultural era under Obama, even under Trump's first term, and Biden. You admit that there was zero stake in making your ice cream brand about social justice. But moving on, the real test of values is when times are challenging and you have something to lose. Love, equity, justice, they're part of who Ben and I are, and they've always been the true foundation of Ben & Jerry's. From the very beginning, Ben and I believed that our values and the pursuit of justice were more important than the company itself. If the company couldn't stand up for the things we believed, then it wasn't worth being a company at all.
So why'd you sell?
It was always about more than just ice cream. It was a way to spread love and invite others into the fight for equity, justice, and a better world. Coming to the conclusion that this is no longer possible means I can no longer remain a part of Ben & Jerry's. If I can't carry those values forward inside the company today, then I will carry them forward outside with all the love and conviction I can. With love, Jerry.
Well, here's the thing. Love and justice are generic terms, and equity is bullshit. So miss me with that nonsense.
Here's another moment in Ben & Jerry's history when they posted about the 4th of July a couple years ago. Oh, we have a 20 from High Voltage 75. Not the first time a restaurant chain has pulled a stunt like that. Remember several years ago when IHOP announced a name change to IHOB, and after the outrage, they said, LOL JK, but come try our new burgers.
What? They were never going to change their name to IHOB, were they?
I think the IHOB rebrand was very transparently pre-planned.
And fake?
And fake.
Okay.
The Cracker Barrel one, I don't know how sophisticated they can be. I think that they genuinely were going to go through with the rebrand until the backlash.
Okay.
Maybe I'm gullible. I don't know. But on the 4th of July, a couple of years back, Ben & Jerry's said it's high time we recognize that the U.S. exists on stolen indigenous land and commit to returning it. Learn more and take action now. And then they linked to the Ben & Jerry's website. This is their shtick. This has been Ben & Jerry's mission for a long time. And they were then called out for placing Ben & Jerry's factories on indigenous land.
Funny how
In
that
fact,
works.
An indigenous chief, a tribal chief, actually called out Ben & Jerry's for putting their headquarters on stolen land, which they, of course, did not return because they are hypocrites. But I'm guessing that what they wanted to do was push harder in the direction of advocacy for Palestinians, and that their parent company, Unilever, did not want to allow them to do that, which sounds like it would be in violation of the contract that they signed 25 years ago, but we could see legal action take place in the future.
Well, I mean, no, like from them or from Unilever?
Well, according to Jerry's statement, he's saying that this was part of their contractual agreement, that we get to do whatever social justice bullshit we want.
Look, I don't know how
and
much,
if they're not allowed to, that would be a violation of the contract.
I don't know how much money he's made, but I don't think he's made enough money to fight the company that owns all of these.
No, I don't think so either.
I mean, and the funny thing is, like, given that situation could be inverted on somebody that you think actually does have a real claim, but in the world we live in now, a company that has that much money is very, very difficult to take to court and win.
Right. We have another 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. There was a Bernie's Back ice cream in 2016, hot cinnamon ice cream with one very large chocolate disc on top and a very stiff butter toffee backbone going down the middle. I'm not sure that sounds very tasty.
Look,
Wow.
I wonder if Shoe on Head tried it. I bet you she did.
I mean, the Bernie ice cream sounds like an old people flavor, so fitting for
Look,
Bernie. I don't know if Bernie can chew all that.
Ben and Jerry's is the actual example of meritocracy in the world, which is like they make, their opinions to many may be abhorrent, but the ice cream is anything but. Therefore, they're like, look, I don't know if I agree with anything he just said, but that Rocky Road is delicious. I'm not gonna, prevent myself from the delicious ice cream if it means standing on business and, not buying from brands that hate me.
Right. We have another 20 from Kyle Dixon for the Musical Chairs Fund. I'm excited. I think we're going to do it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you're right. Because I knowingly bought so much Ben & Jerry's ice cream over the years, knowing that they were woke. I didn't care because I wanted that ice cream.
Because it was a good product.
Especially
true capitalists.
When I was vegan, I was probably the most fascist vegan that's ever existed on the planet.
Most likely true.
And I was buying their vegan ice cream because it was so bussin' the house down. And I knew that I was in part giving money to a woke company. And when the Bud Light boycott kicked off, I had nothing to do with it because I wasn't drinking Bud Light.
Yeah.
So, and it's also different with the Bud Light situation because I think that more of Bud Light's customer base was conservative compared to Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
But
look,
yeah,
I never get involved in any of the boycotts. Like I said, I just posted 2 trailers to 2 movies today, and every time I post any trailer to a movie where I don't say that this is the worst thing I've ever seen, people are like, why are you supporting Hollywood? I'm like, look, the Anaconda trailer was funny. It made me laugh. It's nothing like the original Anaconda, at least from what I remember of it from 1997 or whenever the hell it came out. I think I saw it that long ago. I don't really remember anything about it with J-Lo, but the trailer made me laugh. And that's really all I'm looking for. And everyone's like, Jack Black sucks. I'm not going to see it. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I'm not going to boycott just because Jack Black said stupid shit. And the same thing was true with the trailer for the upcoming movie from Netflix called The Rip with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Like, everyone's like, I'm not going to watch anything on Netflix because of cuties. And I get it. I'm just like, look, my job is kind of also to be here in the space, but I'm just going to fully admit, like, I'm not going to boycott something that I want just because a company, has opinions that differ from mine.
We have another 20 from Shane H. Wilder. Ben & Jerry's did a Bernie's Back ice cream. As far as Unilever owning Popsicle, that's a name brand for an ice pop, and Vaseline is a name brand for petroleum jelly. Yeah, I don't see Ben or Jerry winning a lawsuit against the people that own Vaseline. Like, that's just not possible.
You're like, you need some Vaseline for that burn after you lose.
I am seeing a lot of replies from conservatives who are trying to pretend that Ben & Jerry's ice cream isn't good. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. Like, everyone, maybe it depends on the person, whether you're actually there for the ice cream or the mix-ins. I am in favor of like half of that pint being like Oreo pieces and cookies and brownies, not the ice cream itself. So I stand Ben & Jerry's ice cream, not the mission.
Correct.
I'll say that much. Mm-hmm. I actually learned, I forget which one it was. Thank you. One of the founders, I forget if it was Ben or Jerry, actually doesn't have a sense of taste. Yeah, he like lost his sense of taste.
Oh, interesting.
Or maybe he was born without it.
He's like, just put a bunch of shit people like in it and they'll be good.
Right. So the way that he taste tests the ice cream is just based on texture alone. So that's why all the Ben & Jerry's ice cream is just chock full of toppings. We have another 20 from Francisco Sanchez Jr. Comedy is on life support, and Jack Black helped put it there. Warm up that seat.
The box office would disagree with you in the last couple of years. Jack Black has been bulletproof at the box office recently with Super Mario Brothers and Minecraft, and he's
winning.
He stays winning, even if he does kind of suck. He stays winning. Mm-hmm. I respect the hustle. Though I did see some funny article recently about like his friends are saying that his weight is ballooning and he needs to get it in like under control, and he's like not willing to do it.
He's always been fat.
Yeah, that's I thought was funny.
What do they mean?
So I don't know.
Jack Black could never have the same career on Ozempic.
It wouldn't work. It's actually, he's kind of like, when people talk about women in the body positivity movement, for guys there is a certain type of comedian who needs to be that size, otherwise it just doesn't work anymore.
Exactly.
Imagine if Jelly Roll lost all the weight.
Right. He'd
just be Roll.
He's bragging about how he can fit into Louis Vuitton now.
Good on Papa Rock for mentioning Airborne. Yes, Jack Black and Seth Green were both in like the 1987 classic, 1989 classic Airborne, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. Early work from them. All right, let's move on. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's see the cute first.
Cute first? Okay, all right. Let's get rid of this here.
Switching it up.
Move it to cute. Here we go. This one's from Roger Shadow. Says, kind of cheating, but I love bird watching, and Saturday was a freaking great day at our ponds. First was a great roadrunner, and then a great blue heron.
Okay, I mean, I don't know if I find the birds cute. Not really a bird person, but
it's relativistic in this one. It's
sure.
What you don't find cute, they apparently do.
They're beautiful in the sense that all of God's creations are beautiful.
There you go. That's perfect. All right, let's do cringe of the day. Do you want to explain this one? Is it bad?
So I don't know what these girls' job titles are, but they basically work at golf courses for horny old men and make them drink.
Yeah.
Are they called cart girls? I can't really tell.
And they make a fortune on Instagram.
Yeah, they're like a higher end version of a bottle girl on a golf course. And this is what they have to put up with. I mean, I'm sure she's made the trade-off for her life, but yeah, she recorded a very weird interaction with some men on the golf course.
I want the cinnamon.
The fireball? Okay.
I'll do a fireball.
2 fireballs?
So it's like literally her job to bring them alcohol?
These men are just getting like blackout drunk on the golf course.
Cinnamon Girl?
Yeah, do you know that song?
No.
Well, your parents might.
Oh, probably.
It was Neil Young. Maybe your grandparents.
It was Neil Young. It was Neil Young.
But Neil Young, thank you.
They sound so
everybody
annoying.
behave, gentlemen out here?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No.
Everyone was so sweet.
Good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you ran into our group.
Oh no.
We're aggressive. We like
So
pretty
this
girls.
is the guy
We
that
like pretty
he
girls.
started this whole tournament. This guy right here. That's right.
You make my life so much more difficult.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
I think you got to finish
You
that
like-
bottle there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
In fact, you have like 3 sisters
Oh, gosh.
or
I'm scared. What are
cousins.
you
It
gonna
doesn't
say?
really matter to us.
Thank you.
Older sister and cousin.
And then he'll do the tequila.
Okay.
And
What
do you
is
have
this?
more fireball?
I don't, sorry.
That's fine. What else you got?
I have
Oh, it's so good.
screwball.
For the record, you're particularly pretty.
Oh, thank
Okay,
you.
but for the record.
Oh, thank you. Thank God you told me.
She's never heard that.
I'm
Hey,
just
wait.
kidding. Thank you.
Do you have a notepad? I'll write it down. So
Here is
you
yours.
so you
Or vodka.
A lot of girls.
Okay.
so you
I have
remember.
those. Oh, you're gonna write
How
it
long
down?
you worked here?
You got a notepad? You handle guys
3
pretty
years.
good.
3 years?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How long you been? How long you been married?
A year.
And still the honeymoon's still on?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm actually afraid of you.
You're afraid of me?
I saw. No, I know she's
Why?
happy. I saw the ring, but I'm saying.
Why are you afraid of me?
No, my son.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
I got married May 17th.
Okay.
I have 4 kids all playing today. This is one of them.
nice.
This is one of them.
Fun.
And the other guys kind of all have beardies.
Yeah.
But my one, I'm a first grandkid, May 5th.
Oh, are you so excited? Oh my gosh. No, that is like,
I got 5 kids,
yeah.
but my wife passed away, so
Oh, I'm sorry.
they're
Here you go.
so
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
But are you a local Las Vegas girl? You been here
Yeah.
forever?
Born and raised here.
Wow.
I know, right?
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Jen.
You make our experience actually a little classier.
Okay.
tell we're at
you're
the end of our 18,
You're
just
a
so you
cute
know.
gal.
Oh, thank
so
you.
you make it a little
Okay.
classier.
Oh, good.
There's a comment here that says daughters and wives everywhere are cringing. No, I'm cringing too.
We're classy over here.
In fact, the Dr. Strangelove here is going to be confused later.
Oh, you guys have a good one. Nice meeting you.
Thank you, Jen.
Hey, what's your husband's name?
Alex, why?
Because he's a lucky dude.
Oh, he's lucky.
For sure. We barely met him.
Oh, thank you. How are you?
Okay.
So we've got all in one aggressive flirting.
Yeah.
They're calling themselves aggressive and trauma dumping.
Yeah. That was the worst thing I've seen in a very long time. Thank you for that.
Oof.
I mean, the money must be fantastic for
It
her.
must be, like, if her husband is cool with her doing that for a living.
Yeah.
Because obviously he sees these videos. Her husband knows that she's just getting paid to put up with these sexually aggressive geriatric men all day, every day. I mean, good on her for, like, keeping a smile on her face, I guess.
Yep. All right. All right. Well, that was awful. Thank you for that. Let's move on. Let's get started.
We're aggressive. We like the pretty girls.
They're like, you know what? Everyone's going to give me this label as a dirty
Neil
old...
Young? That was a weird one.
The Doctor Strangelove reference to him. Okay. Yeah, she doesn't understand who Neil Young is or any of that.
Okay. DaBaby has recently released a new song and music video to go with it. The song is called Save Me, and he posted the music video on X. It is basically a reenactment of the murder of Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska, except he has rewritten history in this video where he saves her from her attacker, the one who stabbed her to death. And people are having a lot of mixed reactions to this. They either find it heartwarming or they're finding it kind of dystopian and disturbing that he's sort of capitalizing on this event in a way for self-promotion. It seems a little narcissistic to some people for him to place himself in that moment of someone's real life, the end of someone's real life, as some sort of fictional hero. We'll put the video up on screen without playing the whole thing, the whole song. But this is the actress.
Because it starts with the... like this shot.
Right, well, this is the shot of the real video with
first, nothing
the
seems
bystanders blurred out.
Yeah.
And then you see later on, he cuts to the actors in the dramatized version of it.
His sweater and wraps his hand.
It's so it actually
This is the
starts
news
long with like
segment.
the news segment at the start of it, not before it even gets
Yeah.
into the song. So now we're into the actors here.
Yeah.
Um,
So this is DaBaby. He's one of the bystanders.
What?
so they went all out for they got the same shirt that she was wearing.
Yeah, the one from her,
Yeah.
the pizzeria that
On
she
them lawyer
worked at.
fees.
Yeah. And
And then there's the actor playing DeCarlos Brown.
they do name the actors at the end, and they get credits for this as well.
And then
here
this
she
is the actress playing Irina.
Yeah.
In the it's just he's rapping these lyrics that have nothing to do with
That was
the murder.
That was probably the part that stuck out to me the most, which is that this may have been received differently from people if the lyrics felt like they connected to what was going on in the video in some way.
Yeah, and you actually told me that DaBaby has his legal troubles over
he's had legal
a
troubles.
shooting, right?
So he had he had the shooting in 2018 or 2019 in like the Walmart parking lot. He has he's had multiple cases in the past of like battery against people and assault and things like that. So he's been through more than his fair share of legal issues.
So
Like, it's not new for him.
kind of a violent guy.
I say what you will. Say what you will.
Based on what we know about
I think
him.
one of the ones I remember was like a music promoter was supposed to pay him like 30 grand for like a performance and only paid him 20. And the
Okay.
guy got allegedly, I don't remember which ones of these have been prosecuted, which ones of them were dismissed. I don't remember. But I'm saying if you go check out dude's Wikipedia page, there's a whole section of his based on legal issues.
Mm-hmm.
And the shooting in 2018, I believe, if I remember correctly, somebody can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, was labeled self-defense at the end. I don't remember, but I think there was video of it at that time of what happened. It was like a Walmart parking lot.
Okay.
And that was like my first introduction to him, even before I knew about his music.
So there's the moment
where he stops
grabs the wrist of the killer in the video and stops him
Yeah.
from murdering Irina's the actress of Irina.
And then leads him out.
Yeah, I don't know. Does this end with the killer being apprehended, or what's
I think my
the
main
moral of this story?
So I'm not going to critique it as narcissistic. I'm going to critique it as underdeveloped as far as like a theme.
It says
or an
based on a
idea
true story.
because of what happened. So my issue more is that they didn't put more, kind of like what we were talking about yesterday with Demi Lovato's album cover, which made no sense.
Yeah.
There's no real sense of story or through line. Like if you didn't know what actually happened to Irina Zarutska, this wouldn't connect to you in any way, because you don't really hear a story behind. First of all, the music isn't conveying a story to you that connects to the imagery on screen. And you're not, like, for instance, if he was performing a song and maybe in that song he in the passenger seat or in the far seat represents one side of his nature, and then the guy who's playing DeCarlos in the other seat represents another side of his nature, and they're supposed to be
where he plays both characters, the bystander and the killer.
There could be a story there if the lyrics in the song connected with it.
Right.
So to the people that are criticizing it as narcissistic, there's an argument there because it feels half-baked. There isn't artistry there to connect, other than if you were to ask me, the imagery of her and then the imagery of that red sweater were too visually striking to ignore. Therefore, they felt like they needed to do something with it. I could critique it as underdeveloped and as if they jumped the gun. Like, I feel something right now. I'm an artist. I want to go do something. But they didn't actually put any thought into perhaps connecting more to it than just a couple of visual images that are painful for people to look at.
Right. Well, the music video, the impression I got from the music video is he's portraying himself as a hero, obviously.
Yeah.
But then when I read the lyrics, it portrays him as a victim. Yeah. So there is an inconsistency between the song and the imagery. In the lyrics, he says, "Think you can save me like you God or something. I've been put up out the way. I ain't been starting nothing. I done spent a couple million on them lawyer fees." And basically the rest of these lyrics are about his own woes and troubles and how put upon he is because of his own real life criminal history. And it has nothing to do, obviously, with the event portrayed in the video. It was probably written and produced and recorded all before this news happened.
I think that's him. I think it's him in the song "Jail Part 2" with Kanye, which is one of my favorite of the newer Kanye songs. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong on that one too, but I think that's him. And he also references legal issues, obviously, with the song called "Jail Part 2." Look, I think that there is a art to be made with something like this down the line, but you can't just throw it together willy-nilly and expect it to connect with people.
They're also pointing out that maybe he did this because Charlotte, North Carolina, where this took place, is his hometown, and it connected with him in some way.
It's people are saying, I see in the chat, they're saying it's too soon. It's like, it's not just too soon for a lot of people, I would assume, because it's still hitting with people, even though this happened, like a month ago, actually. The actual tragedy was a month ago, but it didn't pick up like steam in the media until recently. But the problem is if all you've heard about it is a week, you haven't had time to properly sit. And I'm speaking about somebody, if you're an artist, you haven't had time to sit with the material, as painful as it may be to look at, because it made you feel some sort of way. And we talk about this all the time with actors. They're like this, right? They feel something and they need to tell a story through their art because it helps them work through how they feel about something that has happened. So he sees this video, it's abhorrent, it's horrifying, and he wants to tell some type of story because that's how he conveys what he's thinking and feeling. Is a week even enough time, or 2 weeks even enough time to really sit with the material to convey something artistically that will accurately convey both what you were feeling and how you felt about something as tragic and as abhorrent as what happened to Irina Zarutska?
Yeah, I think no. I think the answer is no. And I think that you can tell he didn't actually come up with a compelling artistic direction for the music video or the song because the entire thing is about him. Yeah. Both the video and the song are about him and how good and how, unfairly maligned he is, right? Amala Ekpunobi responded to this saying, this music video involves a reenactment of what happened to Irina Zarutska, but DaBaby steps in to stop it. I get the message, but why the hell would you make something like this? It's so dystopian and disturbing. And I've also been seeing for the past, well, actually, ever since this story broke, I've been seeing a lot of AI-generated photos and videos of Irina Zarutska.
And Charlie Kirk.
And also Charlie Kirk and them together on the train car, united in death. And it is dystopian and disturbing. And I think that it's sending people into the beginnings of psychosis, literally.
It might be the first time that people, because people have been making these videos of these AI videos of actors that have died, or even just actors that are old, where it's like, I'm 87, but I was once, and then they go through their life through AI, and it's like a one motion shot video of them transforming into different ages. And until you see it through the eyes of somebody that maybe their work connected with you more, it didn't really ring to people as uncomfortable.
Yeah, they did that with Charlie as well.
Yeah, like I've also been seeing these videos lately of like actors that have been in both Marvel and DC, right? And it's so the middle shot of them is it's just who they are as a person, and then on they're like locked arms with like their Marvel character and their DC character, and they're walking towards the camera. Like these types of videos are going to become more and more commonplace now.
And people are just losing touch with reality when they're engaging with that and letting it affect their emotions. The only credit I can really give DaBaby for this is that he didn't use AI to make the music video. Look, and actually hired actors to play these people. But aside from that, I do agree with the people who are saying it's half-baked and kind of self-centered and egotistical for him to do this.
He was if I remember correctly, he supported Kanye in 2020, and I think he did support Trump in 2024. So he would be no stranger to this type of seeing stories like this.
It's almost like even though he's the hero in the music video, it's almost like the lyrics are communicating that he is drawing a parallel between himself and Irina.
Yeah.
And that is even more distasteful than anything.
Yeah, I think, like I said,
like
I think
save me, like I'm a victim.
I think it's half baked. I think people will ascribe some level of malice to it, but I tend to think more often than not with a lot of artists is they get an idea in their head, they want to convey something, and they don't. When great art is made, you forget that 99 times out of 100, most of the art that gets made isn't. Right? So you take a lot of swings, you miss a lot, some hits, some doesn't. And in this case, this is one that really didn't. And the consequences of choosing topical art about stories that are deeply troubling is that people are going to have severe reactions to it. So he should be expecting that.
Well, one more thing I should add, just to be fair to him, is that he included a link to a GoFundMe for her family in the description of the video. And it was sort of meant as a dedication to her.
Not the same thing. Like, it would be one thing if he was like, it would have been one thing if he said all proceeds from this video go to her. That would be one thing. But that's, again, half-baked, and it's kind of a half effort.
And he's also like delivering some of these lyrics that are sexual in nature over a video of someone who, actually got murdered, a real person. It's not just a story. So I do think it's distasteful.
I'll read Comatose chat here. He says, or if you're feeling charitable, it could simply be an attempt to motivate people to not stand by and let evil happen to the people around you. I mean, that could be an interpretation, but again, like there was very little in the lyrics, in the material to say that. So that would be, in a lot of ways, if that's how you're feeling about it, that's your conveyance to the art, and that's valid because that's how you're interpreting it. But that's why I tend to caution against artists defining what they mean by it anyways, because people are going to, like, one of the things I love about Depeche Mode is that they don't really give explanations to their songs. They've done it for a few. They did it for the song Precious. They explained what the song Precious meant because it had to do with their daughter, I think, or son or daughter, a child. But the rest of it, they leave most of it open to your interpretation. But when you start conveying what you mean directly, then, a lot of people don't like that. Look at what's happening with The Boys or with all of these places that try to really put their own stamp and tell you you're wrong for interpreting that way. So I don't think that you're wrong to say that, but I think you might be like that. That's a very charitable definition here.
Yeah, I've said this before, but I know I'm a conservative because I'm not able to interpret art. Yeah. And I'm really perturbed by art in the form of music videos, music itself, or movies or what have you that doesn't have a clear message. Yeah. Or any clear takeaway or point of view. And this is one of those examples. I believe that your art should be very clear about what it means without there is a balance to strike with being too on the nose about it, but
music is also held to a different standard than movies and TV. And I'm seeing there's plenty of people in the chat here that are taking the complete opposite perspective. Robert Arias says just using tragedy for money. Jesse Saxon says feels cheaply exploitative. Yeah, I mean, the only way you're going to beat those allegations is if you make it and you don't monetize it at all. But even then, drawing eyeballs to you is a way to monetize. So when you're this famous, you're going to get those claims regardless. Right. So it's a fine balance to walk. It's a fine line to walk.
We'll see if he elaborates on his decision.
All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Wednesday, Brett and Mary. After yesterday's convo, I decided to listen to a bunch of swing. Should I switch from my scally cap to a fedora? Maybe we do need to bring back fedoras into, streetwear. Like maybe it's time. It's finally time to stop shaming the fedora wearers, and you can tip it and say "milady" again. The one thing I'll caution you against is listening to electro swing, which is an awful subgenre that was mostly popular, I feel, in 2012.
Can we just not have Meghan Trainor-esque music?
Adjacent to steampunk. It was definitely popular at the same time that Meghan Trainor was popular.
No, thank you.
Sledgehog said, "Hey, Mary and Brett, here's an idea. Find some excuse to invite Cities by Diana, Metatron, or Melanie Mac to IRL or Culture War, and then hijack them to do PCC too."
I would love to see Cities by Diana on IRL. It would be the funniest thing it would literally be the funniest thing ever.
I bet she would do it too. I don't know if she'd be able to hold her own in a long form discussion.
That's a difficult, say what you want. You can have all the opinions in the world, but when Tim is rattling off names, dates, facts, and times, and it's very hard to.
I mean, they could definitely have a really interesting discussion about civic planning. Maybe come to middle ground on it. And I did see a woman driving by me the other day on her windshield it says, "Pavement Princess."
Let's go.
And I was like, oh, Cities by Diana.
If that's not her merch, it should be.
Yeah. She needs to sell car decals.
If you guys don't know who Cities by Diana is, you should go find her on Instagram. She is the best.
She's kind of a genius.
She is.
Okay, Brad Stevens said Hassan and Destiny should be in prison for credible calls to violent actions. I agree that they should be prosecuted for that. Yeah.
Let's do one more.
Corey Anderson said, "I want to shout out all the new chief petty officers. The last 6 weeks were difficult, but the mess was able to drag you over the finish line, kicking and screaming, Navy Chief, Navy Pride."
Thank you.
I don't know what that means.
I was just I just started not reading. I started listening to an audio book about the Fort Bragg cartel.
I think
very interesting.
I feel like Mike Benz was going on about that on an episode that he hosted.
Very interesting. Yeah. Disturbing and depressing, but very interesting.
Shane H. Wilder said, "If we're adding to the lexicon, we need to bring back robbing Peter to pay Paul and nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs." I haven't heard either of those before.
That second one sounds very Southern to me.
What is it? Swing a dead cat is another one. Yeah, I'll start using those. Corey Anderson.
Let's hold off on the rest. We'll come back, guys. We're like 3/4 of the way to that 5th crisis party. We are almost there, and then I will have to like uncomfortably sit here and look to my right tomorrow when we're doing. Or I guess we'll have to do it on Friday.
We'd have to do it on Friday.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So let's get there.
Okay, I believe we will. So we're still reacting to a deluge of celebrity reactions to the news of Charlie Kirk's death. Some of them better than others, for sure. Arnold Schwarzenegger actually offered his thoughts on the matter in a recent appearance at USC. He expressed he was very upset that someone's life was taken because they have a different opinion. It's just unbelievable. This was a great communicator, a great advocate for the right for Republican causes, and he had such a great way of communicating with the students. A human life is gone, and he was a great father, a great husband.
It's so weird because I think he's been kind of going hard against Gavin Newsom lately too, and all he'll ever be remembered for is "Screw Your Freedom" in 2020. That's all he's going to be remembered for politically.
Wait, you mean Gavin Newsom or Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Arnie.
Wait, what did he say?
It was like during COVID, and basically people were like, I don't want to be.
He said, "Screw your freedom."
Yeah, he's like, oof. Yeah, like that's all he's going to be remembered for.
Well, look, I can excuse it insofar as he is a boomer, right? A boomer who grew up in a high trust society that believed institutions were trustworthy and reliable and delivered information
that weren't lying to you
for the safety and collective good of society. As a boomer, that's just something that's ingrained in him. So I think we can excuse that, but I do think he should issue a correction for his previous statements if he hasn't already. But yeah, that was one celebrity statement. And then also Charlie Sheen spoke out when he was appearing on Piers Morgan recently. I didn't even know Piers Morgan was having the likes of a Charlie Sheen on his show instead of a political commentator.
He's got a documentary coming out right now on Netflix, so that's why I think he's probably promoting
I've seen
that.
promotion for that.
I saw a story where apparently Denise Richards talked about even after they divorced, going to like where he was living because nobody on the set of 2.5 Men could get a hold of him, and anybody that would, if he didn't want to be bothered, would get fired. They're like, he can't fire you. And she like went there and he was just like holed up with hookers and hadn't slept in days. So she was like making turkey sandwiches for him and hookers.
Didn't she call them white trash sandwiches?
Yeah. And I was like, well, that's elitist, but okay. But the point is that was so he's like, there's all this stuff coming out right now because there's this documentary series out.
Here's what he said about the assassination. He called it this generation's JFK moment, an extraordinary moment, a horrific moment. What do you feel about this, Charlie, that somebody would be executed like that, basically for having opinions someone didn't like? I first thought about his fatherless children, his wife, instantly a widow, so I didn't care about the politics or any of the social aspects, cultural aspects. At the first, I immediately thought of just in the family dynamic and component and the value of what was just ripped from all of them forever. He continued, Joe and I just trying to keep some measure of keep our wits and sensibilities about us processing this. And then we're discussing the JFK assassination earlier in that same interview. Yeah, if that moment had to happen, the moment happened, and being with Rogan for the aftermath of it was helpful. If that makes sense, I don't know. I think for this generation, it's their JFK moment. Seriously, if that's where we wound up, it cannot be where we stay. It's still, I don't want to say it's still not. It just still doesn't feel. It's too surreal to process. That's just transcribed from his real,
it's not written.
Like in real time comments that weren't pre-prepared. So he was kind of like speaking from the heart in that moment.
The thing is like because of the bifurcation and the polarization of our culture now, you'll never have a JFK moment again, a true JFK moment. Because like you said with Arnie, the institutions have been toppled in their credibility, and there is no more area of this of the world, or at least for this country, there's nothing that we can coalesce around.
And again, he's really speaking on it from a boomer perspective.
Yeah.
Truly, to compare it to JFK's assassination.
I mean, I get what he's saying.
Of course, that was a moment in the time of mass media consumption that was completely centralized instead of decentralized. A moment, for better or for worse, of cultural unity and cultural mourning across the country. There was no, you couldn't say there was any sizable faction of the public that celebrated, excused, or downplayed the tragedy of JFK's death. Maybe they didn't understand why it happened, and we've learned more about that since then with the declassification of documents about the investigation. However, again, for better or for worse, people were at least able to construct and accept one narrative about what happened and what it meant for the country. That is not the case anymore. And I know Charlie Sheen is speaking on this from the perspective of an older person who's less in touch with online discourse. But if he were paying attention to that, he would know this is entirely dissimilar from JFK's assassination. Case in point, Amanda Seyfried's response. She posted on Instagram saying he was hateful.
That's it.
That's it. That was the entirety of her comment on it.
Wonder how she feels. She's
on
in
an
a new,
Instagram
isn't she in
post.
a new movie with Sydney Sweeney, who is a registered Republican? I wonder how they got along.
Is Sydney Sweeney hateful? Does she deserve to die for voting for Trump, which in all likelihood she did? And no elaboration until reposting this on her Instagram stories on Monday. You can't invite violence to the dinner table and be shocked when it starts eating.
So
poignant.
Again, the idea that talking to people was an incitement to violence is insane. And if you didn't realize that for the last 10 years, people telling you that words are violence was going to lead somewhere dark and dangerous, then you weren't paying attention. But that's the thing. Most of them aren't and weren't paying attention.
Especially not on Threads or on Blue Sky.
Yeah.
George Takei took to Blue Sky
there's a literal
share his thoughts.
There is a whole mishgas going on with Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's like it's sectored itself off. They're fighting.
The cast of Star Trek is feuding over the Charlie Kirk assassination for some reason because Captain Kirk, right?
Yep.
George Takei said after Charlie Kirk's murder, Trump and his allies wasted no time crafting an insidious and baseless narrative that the left is violent, the right is under siege, and only they can restore order. Sound familiar? The Nazis tried the same playbook.
I look at how they responded. I read an article today about an insane woman who believes that she has an AI husband, an AI Luigi Mangione husband, who loves him. And you look at the way that they have celebrated Luigi, the way they celebrate violence. You're wrong, and you're kind of evil if you're not misinformed.
Yeah.
The charitable definition would be that you're politically stuck in your own views and you're misinformed, but I would err towards the side of evil.
And then Tim Russ threw his hat in the ring with just an image on X, which still has not been taken down.
Nope.
The only Kirk that matters.
And then, of course, we don't even need to go to the next phrase. Right underneath it, Stephanie says, you think Charlie Kirk doesn't matter, so that justifies him being shot in the neck and killed? Is that really what you implied with this pick? People who don't think matter deserve to be assassinated? Well, at least the actor pictured knows that assassination of someone is wrong. And that's William Shatner says, assassination is so senseless. Condolences to the Kirk family. And then there was this one, which is this GIF, and it says, just because someone believes something differently than you, this is from William Shatner, by the way, of course.
Yes.
Just because someone believes something different than you do doesn't make them targets, except that they don't see your views and move on. It's differing viewpoints that make life interesting and makes the world go round. Unless you believe the earth is flat, then I guess it just sits there.
That was clever.
Yes,
yeah, in a way it was like subtweeting his Star Trek co-stars, but
I'm assuming that the first one, just because I can't look back here, this one here, because it's like a screenshot, I'm assuming that it's real, but Like they found
what?
out, like I'm assuming that it's real, but there was
Wait,
there
what
was
is
the
real?
first William Shatner one. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna assume that's real, but there was like after the Billy D. Williams one, which he then said he made a post about it that he then said he was hacked about, but there was also then later another one that he supposedly made that proved to be fake. So fake news is everywhere on the internet these days.
The boomers are crashing out. The Billy D. Williams one was crazy because he offers condolences and then says, he deletes it, and then he says, I was hacked because of all the backlash that he got for just paying respects to this man.
Yeah.
And boomers actually think that they can say their account got hacked and anyone believes that shit. Yeah. And I looked through just the timeline on Tim Russ's X account, and it's just a bunch of Facebook boomer memes. No actual original thought. One of them says, pipe down, fox breath. The people who read books are talking. Another one is a fake screenshot from Fox News. We're experiencing editorial difficulties. Please stand by while we figure out how to blame this on Biden.
You know what the other thing that's crazy about this one is like, like, why would you want to drag your friend into it?
This guy is...
Like, why would you want to drag your... Like, if Shatner's your friend, why would you really... Hey, leave me out of it. Like, I had nothing to do with this.
Shatner is also sort of sincere to a fault. Remember the moment when he landed on the Blue Origin flight and tried to have a heart-to-heart with Jeff Bezos, who just wasn't having it?
Yep.
So it makes sense that he would respond to this in a more humane way.
Given the fact that I don't care about Star Trek, I will go watch Boston Legal tonight in honor of William Shatner. Actually, no, I'm going to be watching High Potential Season 2, which finally came out. It's first episode. But I will watch some Boston Legal in honor of William Shatner.
You were right when you pointed out that a lot of these disgusting responses to the death of Charlie Kirk are from boomers and not just, you know, Gen Z girls with TikToks. It's both. It's definitely both but a lot of it is just brain rotted boomers.
I think the reason that bothers me so much is like I expect it from the Gen Zs, right? They've been radicalized in the age of the internet. That's fine. Whatever.
It's not fine, but it is what it is.
You see, I'm saying to me, it's like whatever. I can ignore you. It doesn't. Whatever. I expect that. Mm-hmm. But to see like the people who are in positions of power, who theoretically would be seen as the parents, the mentors, the giants to those of my age, meaning that they would have been my parents, my bosses, my mentors, the people that I would have looked to for advice on how to walk my own path in the world, to see the amount of hatred in their hearts for people and to see them co-sign this idea that a dislike of someone's idea of ideas and words is justification for some type of political violence or any violence at all just scares the crap out of me. It really does.
Yeah, in my opinion, the boomer response to Charlie Kirk's death is just exemplary of the impact of the boomer generation on this country, which is that they got to happily enjoy all of the benefits of a high trust society and then cover it in gasoline and light the match.
On fire.
That's exactly what their generation will be remembered for, rightfully so.
I look at them and I see the hippies of old who just took a society that
peace and love, man.
They took it for granted. They never appreciated what they had when they had it. Yep. And I look at the way it is now. And look, and that's on top of the fact that they're going to be like, firm handshake and you'll get a job and everything will be fine, after they sell their house for $2 million. Like one of my favorite metas on Instagram now are these videos that make fun of like the housing market and boomers selling their, their kids are like, Dad, I'm starting a family. He's like, I'm selling my house to BlackRock for $1.2 million. Fuck you.
Sounds like
and
Cities by
he
Diana.
flips his own son and daughter-in-law off and then turns and like a BlackRock employee just appears and takes and hands him the money. Like that's what I think of now. And look, if you drive through Charlestown, West Virginia, you will see these boomers. They will be there with their signs, protesting in the name of vague platitudes and slogans.
On schedule, because they got to retire early and do things like that for fun. That's how they spend their days.
And they will sit there with their empty platitudes and bullshit, ignoring the reality of the world in front of them And like I said, it's not fine that Gen Z is like that, but I
It's at least
understand how it
understandable.
happened.
Yeah.
The adults, remember when they were like, the adults are going to be back in the room. The adults are back in power. Like, they're supposed to have some level of measured introspection and
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Old people are supposed to have wisdom. Yeah. Well, they don't anymore.
Yeah.
That's a thing of the past.
And no, man, bear, cow, this is not ageism, because there are plenty of people that are not like that are older. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a specific demographic of people within boomers, which is this vestige of neoliberalism that has bled through. And I make the jokes about it all the time, about how much I love neoliberal boomer TV from the 2010s. Well, guess what? We don't live in that world anymore. And my love of it doesn't mean that I think that that's the reality or that we're ever getting back to it, because we're not.
Yeah, it's not ageism. If you're crying about ageism, you're like someone who interrupts a valid discussion about black crime to cry about racism. We're talking about generalizations which are indisputably true. Okay, let's move on into some super chats. Corey Anderson said South Park has posted something like this before. It probably isn't a big deal, but I understand what you're saying. So they've unexpectedly canceled episodes that were slated before?
I mean, can you give me some examples?
I don't know. I don't remember that happening.
There's a 20.
From Pop Culture Junkie. Having met Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry, I can guarantee you he would be aghast and deeply saddened by the Charlie Kirk commentary by some Star Trek cast members.
In honor, what you should do is you should watch the honest trailer for Star Trek, which is really, really funny and on the nose. It's great. It's like, the future is whoa. And this was back in 2016 when they made it, or 2017. It was great.
Corey Anderson said South Park has, Shane H. Wilder, 5 crisis parties to make Brett uncomfortable. We're so close, guys, to the 5th crisis party. What are we doing here?
I'm pinning your message, man, bear, cow, who says we have investigated ourselves and found that we are not ageist. PCC.
Yes.
Correct. We are not
Source,
ageist.
trust me, bro.
Yep.
Weary Traveler said, haven't caught an episode in a while. Congrats, Brett, and hi, Mary. Hi. Glad you're back.
Thank you.
Shane H. Wilder said Lady Ballers was good, but the issue with Daily Wire films is that they were all political. I'm writing some scripts that are just good stories, no politics.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a time and place for both. And of course, they're a political media company, so what am I to expect? Right?
The thing is, for them, it's like the better example of people doing it right would have been Angel Studios, which, made Sound of Freedom, which wasn't even really a political film, but got dragged into politics.
Unfortunately, it is political because we can't even be on the same page about the trafficking of children.
Do you know they just went public?
When it comes to the left.
The company went public?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I sent an article.
They're having massive success.
I sent an article to Tim about it. It was like some unique form of IPO in connection with another company. But yeah, they're doing big things over there.
So
though I can't say, look, that's one of those ones where Sound of Freedom, I think maybe because Jim Caviezel is just an actor that I really love, it was easy for me to really want to see that, on top of the fact of all of the media that buzzed around it. But I haven't gotten around to seeing. I really wanted to see what was Homestead or whatever. Like there was another one that it had Neil McDonough, it had Bailey Chase.
I think it was
and I wanted to see it and I just never did. I should have, but I never did.
Yeah.
Got to get around to that.
You can. Corey Anderson said, is that chair you will move to chair?
Yes, it is in fact chair. And it will happen. We just got the 5th crisis party.
It's usually where I put my backpack every day.
Yep.
Thank you.
Which has to be hastily moved whenever we have a guest.
We have the 5th party. Okay. Confirmed. Thank you.
All right, let's hold off on the rest. We will come back after.
I'll wait for these money guns to go off one more time, right?
In the chat, Kloonberg says, I heard Homestead was awful. Well, that's secondhand info. I can't say for sure.
Over a week ago, this was actually prior to the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a pernicious rumor began spreading about J.K. Rowling, a death hoax that started off as a distasteful joke from someone who describes themselves on X as Calico cat, trans girl, lesbian, pronouns she/any. Most posts are unserious. It says J.K. Rowling was found to have cancer. Doctors believe that with a successful surgery, the malignant tumor can be removed and the cancer will be saved.
Yeah, it's we got this right here.
And it's followed up with, these replies are horrible. It's shocking to see this many people rooting for doctors to fail, hoping doctors don't do their job. Are you out of your mind? Do you want your doctor to treat you the same? This would be malpractice. I hope doctors do their job and save the cancer. To which a bunch of other users with the trans flag in their screen name were celebrating and cheering for, you know, the obviously fictional news that J.K. Rowling's life is about to end. And, you know, posts about them manifesting this outcome because they are filled with hate in their hearts. They are vicious, deeply, deeply lost people spiritually. And I think that J.K. Rowling, even in the face of all of this intellectual dishonesty and vitriol and just horrific sentiment from her critics, still insists on responding with mostly grace and honesty and eloquence instead of lobbing those insults and remarks back at them.
I don't think it's actually in her nature to do that because she's such a writer. She has to
She
start.
can't help it.
Just to go off.
She's a very thoughtful person. And recently there was an example of that. Someone responded to her on X saying, in reference to fixed beliefs, what beliefs have you changed, J.K. Rowling?
That's an interesting question.
It was meant to be a gotcha question, but her response to it completely deflated the point
That's
this
what I
person
loved
was
about
trying
it.
to make.
Yeah.
And she didn't have to make any cheap insults either. So she then listed out a bunch of things that she has admitted that she was wrong about, that she's changed her opinion on over the years. And it's as follows. I used to believe nurture was everything and that nature wasn't important. My belief changed because of my own life experience and from reading studies about genetic inheritance. In my early 20s, I believed the difference between the sexes was entirely due to socialization. I no longer believe that for the same reasons as above. I used to believe, this one is out of left field.
This was so out of left field, it's not even
I
funny.
used to believe in unilateral nuclear disarmament. I no longer do.
Like, she doesn't elaborate. That's
No
what I want to
elaboration
know. Like, I
on that
don't give a
one.
crap about what she thinks about weed. I don't give a crap about what she thinks about transgender ideology. I want to know who she thinks should have nukes and who she thinks shouldn't.
The good guys, of course.
Well, who does she think the good guys are? I want to know.
I used to believe cannabis was essentially harmless. I no longer do because I've witnessed it wreaking havoc on someone I care about's mental health. I used to believe in assisted dying. I no longer do, largely because I'm married to a doctor who opened my eyes to the possibilities of coercion of sick or vulnerable people. I've struggled with religious faith since my mid-teens. I appear to have a God-shaped vacuum inside me, but I never seem quite able to make up my mind what to do about it. I could probably list at least 20 more things I've changed my mind about. I don't currently have a single belief that couldn't be altered by clear, concrete evidence, and in all but one case, I know what that evidence would have to be. The exception is the God conundrum, because I don't know what I'd have to see to make me come down firmly on either side. I suppose that's the meaning of faith, believing without seeing proof, and that's why I'll probably go to my grave with that particular personal matter unresolved. Mm-hmm. Very interesting, thought-provoking, and intellectually humble response, which you see so rarely on social media.
That was the gold standard for, like, turning a gotcha question against someone.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Interesting.
I loved everything about that.
And to the last point that she made about religion, obviously I'm reading this from the perspective of someone who is religious. I'm a Catholic. In case you haven't been paying attention, I mention it a lot. And I think my impression from that is I have more questions, actually. Why does she feel so dedicated to her causes, specifically on her advocacy in terms of, like, gender ideology? I want to know, like, what is it that motivates you to be so dedicated to that cause, no matter what people say about you, no matter the backlash, if you lost everything. Because that can't really explain itself. Like, I believe everyone does have a God. Everyone does behave religiously, whether or not they identify that way. And she is clearly a deeply principled person who believes in objective morals, and she has staked so much on her beliefs. That is clear.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that also was resonating with me like last week and throughout this week as well, in regard to all of the conviction people are expressing for political change in wake of Charlie Kirk's death. Because at the end of the day, none of this matters if you don't believe in the eternal, as Charlie Kirk did. None of it matters. His death doesn't matter if he doesn't live on in a more meaningful way in an afterlife, which is truly when we're the most alive, in my view.
Yeah.
None of it matters. It's just the atoms in his throat were in one place and then they were in another. Really, truly, if you have a materialistic worldview, that's all that happened. So I think that this that event, you know, for better or for worse, did fortunately wake a lot of people up to the spiritual reality that we live in that is most of the time invisible to us. As for the other points that she made here, the first and second one about nature versus nurture and the biological differences between the sexes, a lot of people need to come to terms with that. And you don't need to believe in God to realize that. That's just human reason at work. And it reminded me of something I came across on Instagram recently. I had seen this before. It's from an Australian TV program. They did a little social experiment on a bunch of kids, little boys and little girls, to test out how they would react to getting served disgusting, salty Jell-O. How would they react? Would they try to appease the person that gave it to them, or would they tell the truth about the fact that they didn't like it? And it says everything you need to know about the difference between men and women and the fact that it is ingrained in us biologically, not socially.
Actually made this jelly for you.
What they don't know is that the jelly has a secret ingredient.
Oh no.
Salt.
This task gives us insight into how children conceal emotions like disgust and show empathy.
Yeah, it does smell good.
Smells good. What do you think?
So cute.
Is it sometimes okay to tell a little lie?
Never. A little one. Just say never, okay? Never.
5-year-olds are able to tell white lies to avoid hurting someone else's feelings, and girls are more likely to do this as they may be more aware of social norms of politeness than boys.
It's amazing. Do you like it? It's a bit salty, but I like salty. I felt sorry for her.
Why?
Because we don't really like her jelly.
Now for the boys.
So what do you think? How does it taste? Is it okay?
Why is there salt in this?
Do you think I should give it to the other kids then?
You can take it home. I told her it was not good.
Why did you tell her that?
Because it wasn't good.
What about her feelings?
She was okay with that.
I've actually made this jelly for you.
Oh, that's so manipulative too. To see like, I made this for you specifically.
Know is that the jelly has
Right,
a...
okay.
Oh, come on.
So the little boys were standing on business.
Yes, of
very
course.
blunt and
They're
honest.
like, how will she learn to make good jelly if she doesn't know that it's bad?
Exactly. And you can see the difference between male and female well before it's conditioned into us by the patriarchy. There's so many delusional comments on this video saying that this is because little girls are conditioned from birth to be people pleasers and not stand up for themselves because we live in a patriarchal society. And it's not true. Women are just nicer. Yeah. That's the point. They're just naturally more concerned with the feelings of others. It's ingrained in us from thousands and thousands of years of biology. It's not something they were taught to do. It's just natural and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's not one that is objectively incorrect or correct. There's probably a perfect balance between both reactions.
Yep.
And even there were some comments saying that those little boys are taught to be entitled little shits, and they are so
like,
rude.
If that's what you take from that, I feel horrible for you. Like, your existence must be awful.
These people need to come to the realizations that J.K. Rowling came to, that she was expressing here. She was under the misapprehension that we are all socialized into our gender roles. That is not true. There is some of it that is socialized, like the way we dress, maybe. Yeah. But, you know, something as fundamental as like the way we interact with each other, that's just the way that we're born. There are exceptions. I am this Jello is salty person. I'm not like most females in that way. I never have been.
I'm not like most girls.
Literally, like it's not served me well in many scenarios. But I'm just saying, if we're making generalizations, there's nothing. It's inexorable from human nature that you would see these reactions. It's nothing you can correct by changing society. And also, since she mentioned the MAID program or assistance in dying, whatever you want to call it, to sugarcoat what it really is, it reminded me. This beloved Canadian children's author named Robert Munch, I don't know how to pronounce it, known for classics like Love You Forever and The Paper Bag Princess, has been approved for medical assistance in dying, the MAID program in Canada. Really sad. Yeah. And I'm glad that J.K. Rowling has also expressed her evolved opinion about that as well.
And her perception seems to be that family members will manipulate you into like to feeling like you're a burden on your family, and like
there's that, but there's also the government.
Government should not be getting involved.
The government
it's disgusting.
Benefits from sick people dying sooner.
Yep.
Of course, and it's not just the fact that young healthy people with mental health issues are being killed through this MAID program, but also the entire concept that human suffering has value has been discarded. The entire concept that we need to preserve compassion between human beings, that we should care for one another when we're vulnerable and sick, has been discarded, because there's no concept in a materialistic worldview that human suffering matters in a transcendent way, that it can present opportunities for a greater good, that evil can lead to incalculable good. There's been I guess that thread has been entirely lost on people. Even J.K. Rowling, not having admittedly a religious perspective on this, can see that. Yeah. So yeah, that was a shining example of online discourse.
But more than anything, look at the people who took pleasure in the news that she was supposedly dying, and remember that, like, we can go through all of the flowery language and the debate you want. Is that a person you want to spend time with? Is that a person you want to have in your life? I would say no, and I'm guessing you would say no too, because you're well adjusted.
Let's finish up these super chats. Weary Traveler said Ben & Jerry's Bernie ice cream was a thing in 2019. Oh, okay. So was it 2016 or 2019? I guess because it was Bernie's back. It was him running again.
Yeah, I saw a couple of different
cinnamon flavored ice cream with toffee in it. Doesn't sound very good.
It's got millions of pieces, not billions, because the billions are the problem.
Right. Leisha said Jerry should have just done what every other rich company owner does and quietly donate to PACs or whatever. It must be nice to be rich enough to quit your job over political brownie points.
I mean,
that should be their next flavor. Brownie points.
Political brownie points.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. I like that idea. Dingus Khan of Gongolia said if Benny Blanco was an ice cream flavor, what would he be? Toe cheese? B.O. Hair.
B-toe.
Probably sweat flavored ice cream, maybe, because he doesn't shower.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't want to try whatever that is. Shane H. Wilder said Dingus Benny Blanco would be noni flavored. What is
Maybe
that?
Maybe he can be a form of because they have queso blanco. Maybe he can be queso flavored.
Ew, gross. I don't know what noni is. Mulberries? Oh, it's called the vomit fruit.
Ugh.
Interesting. I don't know. I guess it must taste like vomit.
Disgusting. We did have a Rumble rant from earlier in the show from Cookie Don. Says, someone in Rumble chat wants to know if our rants count towards the crisis party. I think they do. They do not. Because of the way the automation is set up on the spreadsheet, it can only include one URL to pull from, and so it pulls from YouTube.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys, but if you want,
I do check the Rumble,
cause
though.
The crisis party, you have to be on YouTube.
I do check the Rumble, though.
Corey Anderson said, Cherry Garcia is the shit. I love it. I haven't eaten it since the 4th of July BS. If the other dude quits, I will eat it again. Well, just because the other dude quits, if he quits, doesn't mean that their social mission has changed. As they said in the post, all of the people at Ben & Jerry's are woke.
like that.
Literally all of them, from the factory to the office.
How about this? Think about it as giving the money to corporate giants like Unilever, which are staunch capitalists. That's the way you make this argument to yourself. Like, I'm not giving money to Ben & Jerry's. I'm giving money to further capitalism.
Right. Pop Culture Junkie said, not sure Jack Black does well because he is entertaining or because he picks movies that are going to make money no matter what.
So
not really sure.
I will address this because some people earlier said it was a false equivalency, and you're right to a point. I was making a point more to be a joke. What I've realized recently is that people can never tell when I'm joking. Like, I made a tweet earlier about like the poster for The Witcher season 4 with Liam Hemsworth, and I said they should have just cast Christian Kane because the poster looks like Christian Kane, and people thought I was being serious. Like, I thought they should actually cast like this actor who's like, he's like my height as Geralt, which I wasn't. I was just making a joke. I'm not smart, and I'm very socially poorly aware, apparently.
Maybe that just means they're not smart enough to get
it's my turbo autism or something. I don't know, but I was kind of more pointing out that, look, if Jack Black is not responsible for his movies being successful because they're Super Mario Brothers and they're Minecraft, which are huge franchises, he's then also not like single-handedly marching us towards the death of comedy because larger factors are at play than just one dude who isn't that funny.
Exactly.
Boom! Debunked with facts and logic.
Owned. Absolutely destroyed that SJW. Congrats, Brett. Weary Traveler said, "Da ass."
Okay.
DaBaby, more like da ass. Da buns.
I do agree, Mighty Rax. They should have just, everybody wanted Mads Mikkelsen in The Witcher. They should have just, that might have been the only way to keep any semblance of excitement alive for it with Henry Cavill's exit. But I don't think that Mads Mikkelsen is like, I'm going to be Henry Cavill's sloppy seconds.
He's too old. He's too old. Of course, he could never do that. He's not attractive. He's supposed to be like hunky, right?
I mean, I thought people said he looked a lot like the video game version of the character.
Maybe. I'm not super well versed.
But I remember seeing lots of like fan videos of people saying they really wanted him as that character.
What you should have done is quote tweet the poster and say, "Ugh, they should have just cast Henry Cavill in this." Then they'd be like, "You don't know the lore? What the fuck?"
Henry Cavill should be cast in everything. Right. And now they just postponed Highlander because he got hurt. Yeah.
Brian Bledsoe said, "I admit that I'm not consistent, but with Ben & Jerry's constant liberal yapping, when I see their ice cream, while I admit it was good, I'm not interested in buying it."
Well, then my question is, like, do you buy other ice cream in its stead, or do you just opt out of ice cream in general?
See, you can't buy Breyers because Breyers is owned by the same company. It's all sending the same pool of money.
I guess to me, it's like if you like, you don't then buy any other ice cream, means that like you just don't like it. Either that means the Ben & Jerry's is so good it's the only ice cream you want, or you just don't like ice cream that much. And I don't like ice cream that much.
Am I making this up, or was there Dove branded ice cream? Do you remember that?
I remember Dove soap.
No, okay, I'm totally mixing it up because there's Dove chocolate.
Yes.
But Dove chocolate is different than Dove soap.
I have no idea. There's probably whole TikTok channels designed to talk about that.
Okay. This is blowing my mind. Moon at Noon said, Mary Brett. He's like waving at us.
Hello.
Hi. Sketch Therapy said, welcome back, Blade Boy, when you and Ghost Girl on IRL. I'm on IRL tomorrow night.
I will be on there tonight.
Yes.
As a matter of fact. Wednesday. That's the sad thing, too. I was like, yes, high potential season premiere. It came out yesterday, so it goes on Hulu the next day. Fuck. I'm not going to get to it till like 11 p.m. Oh, no, it's going to be way later than that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like midnight.
Yeah. Sketch Therapy said Batman and Robin equals Blade Boy and Ghost Girl, but against media?
Wait. Okay. Are you talking like Batman and Robin the characters or like Batman and Robin like the movie?
I have no idea. Brian Bledsoe said, I was planning the long walk, but that Stephen King tweet just lost interest again. Don't boycott everything, just depends at the time.
That's a very reasonable perspective. Like, if somebody says something to you in the moment, you're like, you know what? I was thinking about it, and you just kind of kill. Like, it's not a boycott. You're just like...
yeah, you're just bored.
It's so easy to just not do something now. It's like with everything, with how much work it is to get you to go to the theater, it's real easy to just come up with a reason to not go. And if Stephen King and his stupid tweets are a reason for you not to go, it doesn't have to be a boycott. It's just like, you know what? I was excited. Now I'm not.
Yeah, I like that. The Analog Detectorist said, my takeaway was he didn't save the white girl, he saved the black man.
Yeah, I saw some other people make that as well. They're saying like he wasn't saving her, he was saving him from ruining his life and in doing something that he could never come back from. But, you know, in real life, there was 14 other times that he was arrested.
Exactly.
Theoretically, he could have gotten away with it anyways because our justice system is effed.
Yes. Shane H. Wilder said, the AI remembrances to Forever Young make me uneasy. The AI of Charlie talking to everyone from heaven actually made me sick to my stomach. I didn't see the second one. I saw the first, but yeah, it's just, it feels disrespectful, and I think it is disrespectful. Shane H. Wilder said, no to electro swing. I was listening to Brian Setzer belt out Jump, Jive, and Wail and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. You know, the traditional stuff.
Okay.
It's the best. I remember, like, this was when I was in middle school. Everyone was obsessed with the Great Gatsby movie, like the Leonardo DiCaprio one.
Okay.
And that's like peak electro swing.
Okay.
I don't think there was any electro swing in the movie, but it was definitely like of its time.
I saw somewhere that apparently they're gonna, this is just a rumor, that apparently Michael Mann might be getting Leo to break his no sequels rule to work on Heat 2 with Adam Driver and Austin Butler.
I didn't know he had such a rule.
I saw this amazing poster that put Leo and Austin Butler and Adam Driver, and it's the exact same poster from the movie Heat, and it gets literally everything right except the text, which is insane that you put all the work in to get every detail of the poster down, like to the color grading, to their position, and then it's just this generic block text and not the text they use in the movie. I'm like, you didn't even have to like go find the font. You could have just cut it out from another poster and put it on there. Who does that?
Who does that?
Who does that?
Corey Anderson said, Mary, you look really different now than when you first started the show. Did you change your makeup, or did you start prioritizing sleep? Stay beautiful. I did both and more than that. I've definitely looked back at some of our old videos and cringed at how I looked in those videos. Like,
yeah,
I was not brushing my hair. I was not sleeping.
It was like, take me as I am.
I was existing solely on merit back then. I did also put makeup under my eyes to make it look like I had dark circles, like more than I actually do.
Wait, like you put makeup under there to make it look like more?
Yeah.
Why?
I did that for a long time before I was on camera every day, and I thought it looked good in real life. And then when I was on camera, I was like, oh, that's
real life and camera are not always the same thing.
And it took me way too long to realize that was a mistake. So,
well, I remember you telling me that like you hit like a realization one day.
I did.
It was like
yes.
It's not one of those things where it happens over time. You said it came to you all at once.
It was literally all at once because I was getting all upset over people responding to one of my appearances on the Whatever podcast saying like I'm judgmental, and I was like, I feel like I didn't even come off that judgmental. I was just trying to have a conversation where we disagreed. And I talked to a friend of mine who I consider a mentor, and she said that part of being perceived as judgmental is if people don't think you're confident, and you need to at least appear confident for people to think like that you're not judgmental, which is very true. I didn't even realize it. And she said one of your problems is that you have this appearance that's not very mature, and you need to kind of level up your appearance, like do your makeup in a more grown-up way,
so it matches the confidence that you have when you speak,
and like also dress in a more confident way. And I was like, I really didn't want to hear it, but after that day I completely changed my approach.
One of the signs of maturity is being able to take that type of advice without being offended or feeling like they were doing you dirty, but instead taking it as what it was, which is an attempt to help.
Right. And I resisted at first, but I was like, oh, she's right. She's right.
But did you tell her, or did you just pretend like
No, I was like, I feel like it's not that bad or whatever. And then she was like, no.
It is that bad.
It's that bad. And she said it in the nicest way possible. And it worked. Shane H. Wilder said, I'm still pissed that someone threatened Phil on X. I wasn't aware that happened.
People.
I hope that Phil stays safe. I know that he's very aware of security and safety, though.
There's a 20 there.
You don't want to mess with Phil. You
do
not want to end up
Nope.
fighting Phil. Pop Culture Junkie sent us a 20. Talked for 2 hours with twin women in their mid-20s due to bad circumstances raised by different families. One typical and affluent, the other poor and abusive. Conclusion on nature versus nurture. It's both, and it's complicated. Of course it's both, and of course it's complicated. I just would like to push back on the narrative that we're all blank slates, because people think it's only nurture. Leisha said, the only Daily Wire movie I wanted to see was canceled. Brett Cooper's Snow White.
I did see somebody in
that
the
is no longer.
Somebody in the chat said release the Cooper cut.
The Cooper cut? There is no Cooper cut.
There should be.
There's no footage. It's not real.
Like bro,
they didn't film it.
Like if it was, it would be amazing. If like they're like, you know what? Somebody see, this is what AI should be used for.
No,
make the fake Brett Cooper.
I've seen a lot of Brett Cooper Snow White AI videos, and it's not on the level of what could have been.
And to make it even funnier, you shouldn't put it online. You should put it on an actual physical disc and then be like, look, I'll sell it to you for, and then they have to mail you like a check or a
they milked that.
No cash on demand. It has to be a cashier's check.
They milked the teaser for all it was worth and more.
Yep.
Rusty Shackelford
Guess I'll have to
said,
make it next.
I'm annoyed we'll never get to see Brett Cooper's Snow White. That could have been their breakout mainstream film, especially if they released it in theaters. And I was so excited when I learned that Disney delayed theirs, because I thought, it gives them the perfect amount of time to get this filming done and release it simultaneously. But alas, the real Disney Snow White came out and it sucked, and there was no counterpoint.
Yeah. There's a Rumble rant here from Broody Gambit. Says, I end up making my own ice cream.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, you have to use like a metal crank, right? By hand for hours.
Sounds like a lot of work.
No thanks. Shane H. Wilder said, wait, Mary's Catholic? I would have never guessed.
See, but the thing is, I don't feel like you've turned it into some form of identity. I feel like it shines through in your beliefs and but not necessarily, it's not like it's phrased that way all the time.
Sure.
Me as a Catholic.
I would prefer it that way.
Yeah.
I would prefer that it just informs my take on everything in a way that's more implicit.
And that's better too, because that means the people that understand it are smart enough to take away from what you say, how it's shaped your beliefs.
If you know, you know. Pop Culture Junkie said, one thing about Rowling, she's no grenade thrower. Is that like a term? Calling someone a grenade thrower? What does that mean?
I've never heard that.
Alejandro Reyes said, given it a lot of thought, anyone who claims a purely materialistic view of life is insane by definition. There has to be some higher level of belief for someone to be rational. I believe everyone has at least the view that there's something beyond what we see. No one, even those who purport to be materialists, actually are. Rusty Shackelford said those 2 girls that destroyed the 2 Charlie memorials didn't seem nice at all. Well, I think to the extent that women are absolute, odious harlots these days, that has been conditioned into them. I don't think that comes naturally to them.
You should also use those are the examples you have to pull up when people are like, the world would be better if the world was ran by women. And then you have to
we'd have world peace.
Yeah.
And we'd also live in mud huts.
Hillary Clinton exists.
Great stuff. Weary Traveler said, I'm not like most girls. OMG, Mary is such a pick-me. Yeah. Saverick said, spiritual polarization. The greater the polarities, the more extreme people's attitudes will be when interacting with the other side.
I still think a lot of this has to do with the fact that look, we are exposed to a lot more information than we ever were before. So yes, people are being exposed to different ideologies and beliefs that they never would have been exposed to growing up. But also you're exposed to more people that just don't see the world the way that you do, in a way that you never were before.
Well, you would be interested to read the New York Times essay. This headline has been made into a meme. It's the we should all know less about each other headline. It's become a GIF now.
I agree.
I went and found the essay and I read the essay, and it's relatively brief, but they said they did an experiment on people's different political affiliations, had them voluntarily engage with content from people who disagree with them politically for some period of maybe 30 days. And they thought, the hypothesis was, when we force people to expose themselves to opposite viewpoints or differing viewpoints, they will become more open-minded. The opposite happened.
Absolutely.
They became more extreme on both the right and the left, but more so on the left, in the beliefs they already held. So you're completely correct in that assumption, and you should pursue that essay. I think that would be food for thought.
I do this show, whatever, but the people have sought it out. Right? This isn't something where I guess somebody could stumble upon it.
I'm sure some of you stumbled
YouTube,
upon us.
and that's fine. But I don't share anything. I have a million thoughts every day about everything that's going on in politics and in entertainment. And most of the time it's more just a product of me feeling like I can't phrase it in a way that's actually catchy enough to really, I never feel like my words will always betray what I'm actually trying to convey to the world. But then I always settle on, I'm not that special, and it's not that deep. I'm like Demi Lovato. It's not that deep. And even when it is that deep, there are thousands upon millions of people better read, better educated, better spoken than me that will be able to convey much better ideas. And that maybe that's why everything I post all the time is half on the road to sarcasm. That it's just, I'm not intellectual. It's a defense mechanism. I'm not intellectual. I'm not that smart. So the amount of people though today who feel like they need to be heard about everything that they think all the time. I'm good on you for being that confident in what you believe. And I suppose that's a skill, but I don't have it. And I could never be that. I could never be that way.
Shane H. Wilder said noni is considered a starvation fruit, only to be eaten out of desperation because it smells and tastes like vomit and moldy cheese.
Ugh. Wait, what's that one fruit?
Yikes.
The durian that smells...
Durian. Durian is supposed to taste great, but smell
really
disgusting.
Bad.
Yeah. Stefan Buttle said, Brett, if I ask you to put a mocha on, would your answer to that question be the same as your answer to this one?
Yes, I will put a mocha on.
Yesn't.
Yesn't. Mocha will probably be back at episode 1000.
That's a brain scratcher right there. Wyatt Caldenberg said, buy ice cream maker. It is better and healthier. No, I will not. I'm not going to sit there cranking a mechanical ice cream maker for 5 hours to eat some ice cream. No, thank you.
I also don't eat that much ice cream.
I eat a lot of ice cream, but I'm not.
Because the ice cream I like is chocolate, but I'm not a bigger, I have a harder time saying no to Starburst.
Oh my gosh. My mom had an ice cream maker. It's literally the mechanical crank. She had one. She maybe used it a total of 2 times.
I'm sure the majority of people who purchase those, they get used a total of 2 times.
Thank you guys.
Right?
Yeah. And then she was like, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it. And I'm like,
And
no,
it
you're
never
not.
It never got used.
Never got used.
Never got used.
No, you're never going to wake up one day and think, I know what I'm going to do with my day. This entire day.
You know what? Like,
I'm going to crank ice cream.
I bet you 90% of the people that buy that are guys who want to use it to impress women on like their third date.
Craft
Let's make ice cream
artisan
together. Let's make ice cream together.
Look at me put some elbow grease into this one.
But then they got married, and he just said, "We'll just go to the store."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Greg Duvier said, "I just make my own ice cream. Problem solved." Making your own ice cream is a problem, as far as I'm concerned. Shane H. Wilder said, "As someone who has used Dove soap and had Dove chocolate, they are indeed different. Don't eat Dove and don't bathe with Dove chocolate."
Fair point.
Good rule of thumb. Gordon Shumway said there is Dove chocolate and they do make ice cream popsicles. Okay, I knew I was getting that idea from somewhere.
Okay.
No Control said make your own ice cream with beef tallow. Oh, how appetizing. Lovely. Greg Duvier said 6 crisis parties and Mary does a show without makeup. Well, we already did. Where are we at right now?
We're at 6.
We're at 6 already. And I think I did say we're not doing that.
Yeah.
The reason being, not only do I think I look better with makeup, because why the hell else would I wear it, right? That's just implicit in the fact that I wear makeup on the show. But also, that would just make my appearance a topic of discussion when it's not supposed to be the center of your attention.
Mary's
you
like,
know?
let's talk about me.
Like, I don't really want to make, like, to prompt, like, discourse about how I look, because that's not the point of the show. Wyatt Kaldenberg said there are electric ice cream makers, tons of recipes. Okay, I mean, I still don't think that's too much work. Okay, when I'm in the mood to eat ice cream, similarly to when I feel like eating McDonald's or Taco Bell, whatever, I feel like being trash. Like, I just feel like treating my body like a garbage disposal.
Trash panda.
That's the vibe I'm on. Shane H. Wilder said, I still want Brett Dasovic's Bro White with Mary as the evil queen. Also, knew Mary was Catholic from her first time on screen. There are signs. Might be the miraculous medal I wear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian Bledsoe said, as a good Texan, I buy Bluebell ice cream. That is better choice, yeah. Better than Breyers. I usually get Halo Top, though, because I'm insane. Pop Culture Junkie said, a grenade thrower is slang for a person who likes creating chaos or conflict in writing or verbally in person. I'm glad you introduced us to that term, because Brett has been trying to describe that person for a long time.
I have?
The way that people are so articulate in expressing their delusions online.
Yeah.
It really bothers us both.
It does.
They're a grenade thrower.
It is one of those things where I'm like maybe we were better off before we taught people to write so eloquently.
I've been saying mass literacy was a mistake. The printing press was a mistake, and no one listened. No one wanted to listen until now. High Voltage 75 said, why don't you count the Rumble rants? All you have to do is add them together, right? Well, it's a system that was not set up by us.
It's an automated system. I can't add it in there.
Yeah, we can't really go in
Plus,
and change the number.
Bro, I'm doing shit, okay? During the show, I'm doing shit. I got stuff going on. I can't even do math when I'm not doing anything. So if you think I'm going to do math and do the show, you are sorely mistaken, my friend.
Stefan Buttle said, catch-22 question that I asked, yes equals yes, no equals yes. Right. But the answer was yesn't.
Yesn't.
Weary Traveler said just go to Dairy Queen. It's been like at least 15 years since I've eaten anything from Dairy Queen.
I do like Dairy Queen. So there was a couple of years in a row where we would go skating like on my birthday, and then afterwards I'd be like, you know what? Ice cream.
Maybe I'm just feeling that right now.
It's like feeling 12 years old again. It's like, you know what? Let's go to Dairy Queen.
I like a hot fudge sundae from McDonald's, actually. Underrated menu item. Better than the ice cream cone.
And I did like the McFlurries from McDonald's.
I tried a McFlurry relatively recently.
Wasn't for you?
For the first time. And I got the Oreo one, and I'm like, there's like no Oreo in this. What's even the point? This is just soft serve ice cream, and I got ripped off.
There's a Rumble rant from Broody Gambit says, and the really good thing, I brew my own root beer and make floats from scratch. Well, I can't say that a root beer float sounds like a horrible thing right now, but I don't know if I'd want to make it from scratch.
Greg Duvier said all women look better without makeup. That is quite literally not true, sir. And at the end of the day, my opinion is that I look better with makeup, hence why I wear it in my public-facing job. E7Z45 said, OF with Mary churning butter would bankrupt Corn Pop.
I don't even know what that means.
Probably true. Shane H. Wilder said Tillamook ice cream for the win. That is also good and kind of cheap for the amount that they give you.
Yeah.
Good flavors choices. Yeah. Straight Rippin 93 said I like turtles.
I like turtles.
High Voltage 75 said LOL, it's literally just basic addition. Okay, we're not liking the tude with you.
There's a block coming your way if you're not careful.
We're not appreciating the tude.
And you're not appreciating just how bad at math I am.
Weary Traveler said Mary eats the hot fudge sundae with a spinny cap on. Yeah, that's me.
All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please? And subscribe to the channel. If you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already, and with an episode like today, how could you not be subscribed? I ask you.
Stefan Buttle said, Brett, can I buy your future child's middle name?
No, you cannot buy my future child's middle name. We have had lengthy discussions about the names of future children.
What
I will
amount
not be
will
telling
you put on it?
None.
$1 million. $1 million.
Yeah, you give me $1 million and then I'll ask Olivia if we can do that.
Look, if you got to give the $1 million to your child, I bet they would thank you.
Probably. Plus, they can change it at 18 if it's really bad.
Well, just give them 4 like me. Okay. So they're extra special.
All right, there's one more there from Shane H. Wilder.
As a Texan, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Dairy Queen. Growing up, that is where we would stop when driving to East Texas Piney Woods.
Now I want some dairy. Is there any around here? Maybe I'll go find one before IRL.
Yeah, there's one nearby.
Go get some Dairy Queen. All right, Mary, where can they find you?
You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And help me get TikTok famous. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. If you guys want to follow me, I am on Instagram and on X at Brett Dasovic. On both of those platforms, we are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch the show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is a great way to help the show. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Mary, there's a couple more there.
Stefan Buttle said, name them Soda.
I will not.
Middle name Soda. Nobody has to know. They can just lie and say it's something else.
Yeah.
$1 million. I think I would take that. Sorenko Productions said, speaking of Brett Cooper and Daily Wire canceled shows, whatever happened to the Pendragon series? Didn't they do a ton of filming for it already?
Maybe they recast her in that too. Is Isabel Brown
No, I think
I
saw her recently, like prior to going on maternity leave. She said that the show is in fact coming out. And
okay.
She was saying something like she was excited for it to come out. So it is going to come out.
Can't wait for those red carpet appearances.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, what's the promotion gonna look like? Are we gonna do like our little press thing for it? I don't know.
And then we'll ask the hard questions.
We're literally gonna be the guy from Variety. We're going to embody that archetype.
Thor-ath.
What was it like seeing your Thor-ath on screen for the first time? Oh, I would love to make everything so awkward.
Uncomfortable. Who is the most demanding person on set?
Was anyone canoodling on set? Pop Culture Junkie said Pwetzel flavored Blizzard.
That does sound good.
Is that a thing? They do that? It sounds real.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. We will see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.